Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why voting and electoralism are harmful, why they go against our own interests, why bourgeois elections should be boycotted, and what we should do instead. And I'll leave a link below in the description to my last anti-voting video. These days, it can be a controversial thing to say that by design gets unpleasant, contentious, and irrationally angry and absurd responses and reactions from some quarters. It's a viewpoint that is deliberately marginalised because doing so benefits the status quo and those who rule society. But the fact is that it's always a mistake to put any trust in any politician. We cannot vote our way out of this dystopian capitalist mess. Bourgeois politics is a counterproductive waste of time, and that includes all political parties and politicians. The entire capitalist class and their system is the enemy, and none of them deserve our support, and that includes our votes, no matter who they are. Representative democracy has completely failed and is not worth participating in at all, and that includes social capitalist politics, which sometimes falsely claims to be socialist. In reality, voting is a disgusting, submissive act of self-abasement and should be completely rejected and scorned. Ultimately, in various ways, it is not something that is in the interests of individuals to do in the society that we are currently lumbered with, much to our detriment. We only have a so-called choice in voting between one corporate-sponsored or capitalist politician or another corporate-sponsored or capitalist politician. Flip a coin. It doesn't matter if it comes up heads or tails if the bank owns the coin. So vote for who you want, but corporations and bourgeois interests donate to all politicians, which is in reality just legalised bribery. So no matter who wins office, the rich people always win. Capitalism always wins. Any vote is a vote for the capitalist class and its capitalist system, and this includes the social capitalists and state capitalists of the left. On the whole, organising tends to come to a standstill every time there's an election, especially when a Bernie Sanders or Jeremy Corbyn type politician comes along promising so-called socialism. Yet history shows whose side these people are really on, and that they have a habit of breaking their promises to the working class or not being able to keep them. And if we are to gain reforms, how we do so is crucial, and we need to build truly independent and grassroots power and utilise direct action, and that's how we've won gains and improvements in the past. Of course, our ultimate aim is to dismantle capitalism and the state, but collaborating with any faction of the capitalist class strengthens them and weakens us. It sends out the message that we need politicians and the capitalist class, when what we need is not to rely on them, but to rely on ourselves and on autonomous alternatives from below and collective direct action, revolt and sabotage, which electoralism and voting is a deliberate diversion away from. We need to advocate for and build this genuine revolutionary alternative. Supporting and voting for politicians is essential for the continued domination of the working class by capital, and when so-called socialist politicians come along, the narrative is created that we need a saviour, and are always incapable of being for our own interests and fighting on our own terms. It plays right into the hands of the capitalist class. It's vital that we fight back on our own terms and are genuinely for our own interests. In any case, if electoralism actually worked, we would actually be getting somewhere and would have achieved socialism or freedom, autonomy and equality. But that hasn't happened at all. Anyway, the supposedly progressive or less reactionary government has always been a diversionary tool for the benefit of the ruling class, and this results in the working class ending up demotivated, demoralised and lethargic, eroding any desire for real self-determination. This no doubt contributes to the rightward drift in politics. How pragmatic! Simply calling for or enacting an all-out general strike or real effective action would be a better use of our time and energy. Neither will voting for the so-called lesser evil, which remains evil, get rid of poverty and bigotry, and at the end of the day, representative democracy and capitalism do not fight conservatism and ultranationalism, etc., to the death, and actually they fuel and strengthen such things and give them power in the first place. In a sense, it doesn't even really matter if voting rights are suppressed or if there is gerrymandering, because voting and electoralism is counterproductive and anti-working class, and it's against the interests and the freedom and autonomy of the individual, as is representative democracy itself. It is the lie that we are a so-called free society and can vote our problems away, and that the politicians and their advisors and their corporate backers will save us, and that we ourselves are incapable of doing so or shouldn't be allowed to do so. Representative democracy is the deceptive, hypnotizing illusion of a fake, non-existent freedom that preserves the status quo, the class system, the state, etc., and won't stop disenfranchising us and holding us back, putting us firmly in our place. Let's stop being deceived that we live in a free society that is for our interests when we don't. Representative democracy is a failed political structure. We need to act for ourselves and our own class interests and for ourselves as individuals. And we need to build autonomous alternatives from below and genuinely resist capitalism and the state with collective direct action and practice genuine solidarity with a view to creating our own decentralized structures of self-organization and shared power that also truly give us a voice and empower us as individuals, such as free federations of communes, popular assemblies and workers' councils that are truly fair and utilise free association for ourselves and our communities. And all of that is what voting and electoralism is a deliberate diversion away from, and why it is harmful to working class people, to us as individuals, and to society in the situation in general. That is why they want you to vote. All political parties and politicians should be totally rejected, and that, rather than our votes, support, and consent, is what they deserve. Thank you for listening, everyone. All the best.